The review conference will meet in Geneva to evaluate the implementation of commitments governments made 8 years ago in Durban to eradicate intolerance, racial hatred, and discrimination. These are problems which affect all countries. I therefore urge governments and all other stakeholders to actively participate in this review process. I am fully aware that the legacy of the 2001 Durban Conference has been tainted by the anti-Semitic behavior of some NGOs at the sidelines of that conference. And now the review conference has also been the target of a disparaging media and a lobbying campaign on the part of those who fear a repetition of anti-Semitic outbursts. This, in my view, is completely unwarranted. As Secretary General of the conference, I countered such distortions in order to set the record straight.
The UN Watch, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam High Commissioner. You referred in your report to the human rights situations in Zimbabwe, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka. We are deeply concerned by the gross violations in these countries. Madam High Commissioner, will you please call for the Council to adopt forceful resolutions that will speak for the victims of abuses in these countries? You referred as well to the arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court yesterday against Sudanese President Omar Hassan al-Bashir. Indeed, the court accused him of masterminding a campaign of extermination, rape, and pillage in Darfur. Madam High Commissioner, given that a report by Agence France-Presse from minutes ago says that, quote, Khartoum has vowed that it will not cooperate with the court, end quote. Given that Sudan has now ordered the expulsion of 10 relief agencies operating in the region, a move that could threaten aid to several 100,000 vulnerable people. Will you, Madam High Commissioner, please urge Sudan to comply with the arrest warrant, and will you call for an emergency session of this Council to see that the warrant is complied with and that the mass killings end soon? Speaking of Darfur and genocide, this brings us to the subject which you referred to of the Durban Review Conference, whose stated goal is the elimination of racism, discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance. We regret that despite our appeals for the past year, the issue of Darfur and many other critical situations of racism that we raised failed to be reflected in the draft declaration text that have been circulated. Madam High Commissioner, given that the Prime Minister of Britain and other eminent figures have just signed the London Declaration on Combating Anti-Semitism, which reads, and I quote, governments and the United Nations should resolve that never again will the institutions of the international community and the dialogue of nation states be abused to try to establish any legitimacy for anti-Semitism, including the singling out of Israel for discriminatory treatment in the international arena. We will never witness or be party to another gathering like Durban in 2001, close quotes. Madam High Commissioner, this week you said that groups that warn of anti-Semitism are waging an unwarranted and disparaging lobbying campaign. Madam High Commissioner, we are concerned that your statements are blaming the victims and not the perpetrators, the countries that are the most intolerant regimes that are seeking to indict the most tolerant democracies are the ones who are responsible for the crisis of the Durban Review Conference, and we urge you to speak out and to speak out immediately. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam High Commissioner.
I thank you.